The Bipartisan Background Check Act has been resubmitted, and I sat through a painstaking 25-minute press conference so that you didn't have to, and I died a little inside. This bill is now called H.R. 715, formerly known as H.R. 8. The Bipartisan Background Check Act. They're trying it again. It's been resubmitted every single session of Congress since Sandy Hook by Representative Mike Thompson out of California. However, this year it was submitted by RINO former FBI agent Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania. And because he is a RINO Republican, that's how it's bipartisan. There are 180 co-sponsors right away, right out of the chute, and now they're going to try to beg, borrow, plead, steal, and bribe to get enough to get it to pass the House again. It has passed the House two previous times, but it's always died in the Senate. I really don't see anything happening here with this because, from what I'm told, there's not a lot of push for this right now. I'm not saying something might not happen like it usually does when these bills are proposed. But if you're not aware of this, I will show you the bill. I'll show you the portions of the bill that are insane. It's not a long bill. But just so you know and can get in your mind what this bill is, submitted by a RINO Republican, I had to watch people from every town in Giffords and Brady and March for Our Lives and the Community Justice Action Fund spew BS like guns are the number one killer of kids now. So what we do is we change age demographics so that statistic becomes a reality now. They changed their numbers twice in this. The first time they said at the beginning of the presentation that over 80% of America supports this. And then when Mike Thompson got up, that was Fitzpatrick, when Thompson got up, he said over 90% of Americans support this and over 72% of NRA funds support this. What it looks to do is to criminalize the person-to-person, the face-to-face transactions, which are totally legal in many states. And let's go to the bill. I'm going to go right to the firearm transfer section. It says it shall be unlawful for any person who is not a licensed importer, licensed manufacturer, or licensed dealer to transfer a firearm to any other person who is not so licensed, unless a licensed importer, licensed manufacturer, or licensed dealer has first taken possession of the firearm for the purpose of complying with subsection T. What that means is if you are not an FFL, you can't transfer a firearm to anybody. So if you want to do that person-to-person, face-to-face transfer, you have to go to an FFL where they will conduct the 4473 background checks for you, of course, at a cost to you. B says upon taking possession of the firearm, the licensee shall comply with all requirements of the chapter as if the licensee were transferring the firearm from inventory to the unlicensed transferee, which means the 4473 and background checks. If a transfer of a firearm described in subparagraph A will not be completed for any reason after a licensee takes possession of the firearm, including because the transfer of the firearm to or receipt of the firearm by the transferee would violate this chapter, the return of the firearm to the transferor by the licensee shall not constitute the transfer of a firearm for purposes of this chapter. So if you go to sell it to a person and the transfer of the 4473 and the background check reveal that person can't receive it for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe they're prohibited or maybe it's a non-compliant firearm for those states with gun rosters, well then you would get it back, maybe. Yeah. The next part here, paragraph 1, shall not apply to. A is law enforcement. B is direct family members, as long as the transferee isn't believed to be getting the gun for a crime or as a prohibited person. C is for administrators or executors of trusts, etc. D, the temporary transfer that is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm, including harm to self, family, household members, or others if the possession by the transferee lasts only as long as immediately necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm, including harm to self, and the harm of domestic violence, dating partner violence, sexual assault, stalking, or domestic abuse. And that's for groups like Hold My Guns. There are groups out there like Hold My Guns where our community is taking care of our community to avoid red flags and stuff like that. So holdmyguns.org, check them out. and tell them I sent you if you want to learn more information. Transfers approved by the AG. It also doesn't apply if you are transferring the gun at a shooting range. Like if you say, hey buddy, you want to shoot my new gun? That's not a transfer where it has to have a 4473 done. Same for hunting, trapping, pest control, farm or ranch use, etc. And that is what used to be H.R. 8, now H.R. 715. This is the Bipartisan Background Checks Act with 180 co-sponsors. All of them are Democrat. One Republican RINO, ex-Fed, ex-FBI agent Brian Fitzpatrick, who is no friend to the Second Amendment. So I just wanted to get this on your radar. I don't think it's going anywhere, but it's good to know what bills are being submitted by the opposition, those people who hate freedom, who hate the Constitution, yet are elected officials who are supposed to uphold and defend said Constitution. Yes, I'll have a link down below to the website. It's called congress.gov, where you can see who are co-sponsors. You can click on your state and see which members of your state's delegation are supporting this and reach out and let them have it. And for those who say, my representative is never going to do it anyway, like, what else do you have to do today other than to be a thorn in their anti-freedom loving asses? Just do it. Takes a couple seconds out of your life. You'll feel better after it, and you've made your voice heard. So, for freedom, do it. Guys and gals, if you're interested in Second Amendment news, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, I'll bring it to you every single day here on Guns and Gadgets, and hopefully you will find this information to be useful and knowledgeable and be worthy of your subscription. Subscribe button is right down below. Please like the video and share it so more people see it to get through the anti-gun algorithm here on YouTube. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. And, you know, sooner or later, all these anti-gun freaks are going to realize how bad they need us, those of us who love liberty and exercise our rights. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.